What's up, gamer? What's up, gamers? It's a whiteboard video. An actual one. I knew I was going to make one soon enough. I just needed to come up with a topic. Shut the fuck up. It is too cold in here for the fan to be going off. Let's begin. So, recently, I've been thinking, right? So, in our universe, okay? I'm not gonna draw it because I have some other things to draw. In our universe, you know, there's probably life on other planets, right? The David Bowie song, Is There Life on Mars? I'm not gonna sing it because I don't want to sing it. Is there life? Yes, I sing it a little bit. Anyways, so yeah, you got like the David Bowie song and all that shit. And like, you want to think, you know, what are the bare essentials for civilization? You know, like, what is the minimum? And I thought of a handful of things. One, a brain, specifically a high-functioning brain. And now what comes with a brain is a few things, right? So you've got a dense bunch of nerves that you're gonna call a brain, right? And what's gonna happen is your sensory organs that you know, are going to help you in the detection of things and the analysis of your environment and all that, right? Those things are going to come out of that. So you know, you got all that stuff, right? I'm not very good at drawing things, whatever. So, you know, and the thing is, when you have this cluster of nerves that work together, they take time to travel, right? The information takes time to travel. And so to minimize the amount of time it takes to travel, we have to minimize the distance, which means you want all your sensory organs to be very close to the brain, right? And so you need to protect it, so you gotta form a casing. And like, yeah. And another, so that's the first part, right? Basically, the brain leads to having a head, like something similar to a head. Number two, locomotion. For a civilization to be produced, it has to have a sufficient brain, specifically a brain that has high thinking capabilities, locomotion, and a few other things. But for locomotion, you're going to need just the ability to move around. That's really all you need. It can be anything, right? The third thing, it needs to be on land or air, but land, you need to have access to land. You're not going to have a civilization in the water. And the reason being is because there isn't access to fire in the water. And because you can't have access to fire and water, you're not going to be able to develop all these technologies. You're going to be primitivized. You're going to be stunted. Fire is the key to progression. Without fire, you can't progress as a civilization. Look at dolphins. Dolphins are very shit out of luck because they don't have land and another thing. They don't have manipulation. Now look at this thing. You see this? Oh man, look at my hand. Whoop. Yes, hand. Hands are very useful because I can do this. Right? I can do this. I can do this. I can do this. I can do this. And then I can do this. Etc. 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 These are very good examples. Now, the ability to manipulate in your environment to a certain degree is key to civilization. Look at that. Look at that. Understood? Do you have any idea how crucial these are to civilization? Without it, nothing. Nothing. We'd be like dolphins. Dolphins are missing two key ingredients to civilization. They're missing land and they're missing manipulation. Do you know how much of a fucking stunt that is on them? All they can do now is pass around fucking pufferfish and get high. Okay, they're stunted. They're retarded. Understood? They have been retarded. Continuing. You're going to have locomotion, brain. I realize that kind of looks like food. You want land, and you want manipulation. Now, thing is, you want to make this feasible, like reasonable, right? And majority. I dropped my phone there, so I'd probably cut that out. Like I was saying, so majority of animals on the planet have how many limbs? Right? So that's common. And it seems like symmetry is very common in nature for whatever reason. So you want a symmetrical body. You're most likely going to get a symmetrical body with 4 limbs and a head. Now, of course, I'm assuming here. So let's take a step back. Locomotion can be anything. It can be like a snake. It can be like a bird. It can be like a human, yes. Whoop. It can be like a wheel. Yeah, whoop. Anything, right? We don't know what the locomotion could be, but it can exist. And it must exist, because if something can't move, it's not going to be much of a civilization. Oh, wait. I mean, yeah, okay. So these are the evolutionary requirements to producing civilization. Because with these things, you're open. And a human body is a very good example of this. Our locomotion is our legs. Manipulation is our arms and hands. The brain and the centralized things are in the head. And of course, we're on land. Now, I'm not trying to say too much. What I am trying to say is aliens might not be too dissimilar to us or any life on this planet. They're probably not going to be all these drastic colors because things are usually pretty constant. When you have a leaf, right? Leaves have chlorophyll in them. And the thing about chlorophyll is it's green. Chlorophyll, as an organelle in cells, is probably one of the best compounds to be using. There is something that's like purple that's in bacteria, but that's not necessarily the best. So while they could be purple, they could be green, they could be anything, right? A lot of plants, if they have plants, are probably going to be green or purple. We don't know, but probably green, right? And of course, when that happens, and the plant goes into a dormant state, it's probably going to turn brown. Because a lot of dead things like to be brown. Brown just seems to be a lifelessness kind of deal, right? As for blood, blood uses iron. Iron is pretty abundant, and it's probably going to be abundant throughout the entire universe because of how the commonicity of elements works, being that they're made in stars and star supernova and release all of that. So you're going to have more of the hydrogens and the heliums and the lighter things and the carbons. Then you're going to have the irons or the golds or the leads, because it's just not going to make as much. No, the reason for that cut was I heard a lot moving. Might be another one soon. Okay, so like I was saying, things are probably going to be pretty similar. Blood is probably going to use iron. Trees are probably going to use chlorophyll. Deader things and dormant things are probably going to be brown. And that affects camouflage. And water usually has a bluish tint sometimes. It can be green because of algae. And you gotta think about the evolutionary advantages that come with certain things that are probably going to be constant. You're probably going to have silica. So you're probably going to have the same color as sand, or things like that. What I'm trying to say is, in the universe, things are probably going to be very similar in life. And that is probably going to extend to the shape that animals take. And what is a really good shape for running down prey in the savannah and crafting your own weapons? What is a common link between some of the most basic life